Hello students, this is your third video relating to the chapter Fundamental Unit of Life. Now in this particular section, we will be dealing about cell wall, its structure and functions, cytoplasm, structure and functions, nucleus, the main parts, the basic structure and functions, and difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now to begin with the first part of today's discussion, it's about cell wall. Now remember, as we discuss about a cell wall, this is a rigid, semi-elastic, semi-transparent and protective covering. Now this is usually found in case of plant cells and some bacterial cells. Apart from having a plasma membrane, the cell wall will be found outside the plasma membrane. Now normally the cell wall in case of plants is made up of cellulose. Okay, cellulose is a complex carbohydrate which is the main derivative of the plant cell wall. Now different organisms have got different type of cell wall, so their composition might actually vary. Now normally cell wall is highly permeable. It will allow movement of materials very easily. Now coming down to the role of cell wall, what is its importance? Now the cell wall will provide shape to the cell. It will provide mechanical strength to the plants. It will protect against pathogens and any kind of mechanical injury. Now in major cases, the cell wall will prevent bursting of the cell on endosmosis. Thus it will make the plant cell turgid. Now coming to the next important portion of the cell, which is nucleus. Now as we consider nucleus as the brain of the cell, the basic reason why, because it controls and coordinates the different functions of the cell. Now as we discuss about this nucleus, it might be present in the central position of the cell or might be found along the periphery. Now in prokaryotes that we will discuss in the later section, a nuclear membrane is usually absent in them and they will possess a kind of an undefined nuclear region that is called as nucleoid. Okay. Now as far as the nucleus is concerned, it is deeply stained because it can absorb the stain whatever we are using to observe the cell under the microscope. Now coming down to the next part, what is the nucleus made up of? Now the basic parts of the nucleus involves a double membrane covering that will separate the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Now that we have studied as nuclear membrane, which can be otherwise called as nuclear envelope. Now within the nuclear membrane, you are going to find very small pores. Pores means holes. Now they are called nuclear pores. Now inside the nuclear pores, they will allow the exchange of materials between nucleus and the cytoplasm. Now within the nuclear membrane, there is a colorless fluid-like material present that is known as nucleoplasm. Now within the nucleoplasm, we are going to get very small rod-like structures that are entangled before. So they are known as chromatin, who will change into chromosomes just before the cell division. Now remember, chromosomes are known as the hereditary vehicles. That means those who are going to carry the information. Now, chromosomes are normally made up of DNA and proteins. Now, within the chromosomes, there are very small thread-like structures that are present called as chromatids. Now, normally, inside the chromosome, we are going to get the genetic material in the form of DNA, and the active segment of the DNA is called as gene. Now, what are the different functions of nucleus within a cell? Now, as being given here, nucleus will contain all the genetic information, not only for the cell, but for the whole organism. Now, it will function as a control center of the cell because it controls the different functions, hence known as the brain of the cell. Now, it is also responsible for cell division. Now, based upon the type of the nucleus, we divide the organisms into two groups, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now, prokaryotes, they are very small in size, whereas eukaryotes are larger in size. Prokaryotes will have an organized nucleus, whereas an organized nucleus is present within an eukaryote. Now, as we discuss about an eukaryote, they will have a nuclear membrane which is absent in a prokaryotic organism. Now, membrane-bound cell organelles, they will be absent in case of prokaryotes but present in eukaryotes. Now, prokaryotic organisms, they will have only one chromosome, single, but eukaryotes may have more than one chromosome. Now, examples are given here. Prokaryotes will include bacteria and cyanobacteria, that is the blue-green algae, and eukaryotes will include plants, animals, and fungi. Now, coming down to the last section here, as we come down to cytoplasm, remember the word cyto means cell, plasm means fluid. So, it is a fluid-like material that is found inside the cell. Now, that cytoplasm is the area where different types of chemical reactions of the cell will take place. Now, majorly, cytoplasm will be found in all the types of cells, and it is a jelly-like material that will keep the fluidity of the cell. That's all about this particular section. We will proceed with the next section in our next video. Thank you.